Yes guys, welcome to my channel. It's been a long time coming. I finally invested into a camera, so no excuses. I can finally get some decent quality videos out and not use a shitty phone camera. What you can expect with this channel, guys, is you can expect weekly content that is going to help you level up your training and your nutrition. But let's stop with the boring interactions and rambling. I'm absolutely tweaking on pre-workout right now. So we are in Irving's right now for a pull session. It's gonna consist of pull downs, rows, deadlifts, curls, all the good stuff. So let's get it. So running through my warm-ups a wee bit. When I do my warm-ups, I'm not trying to fatigue myself. I'm not trying to, do any activation or anything like that. I'm purely trying to get the muscles I'm about to use warm and ready to go into the session. So you can see when I was doing my warm-ups, I started off with a 3-lock shoulder mobility, which I've found has really helped my rotator cuff and just prevent any shoulder issues. Then I moved on to banded rows, both single arm, sort of more lat rows, and then sort of both arms more for my traps. Again, just getting blood into the areas that I kind of, getting those areas warm. And then I went on to doing dead bugs, which I find has really helped my bracing and just making sure that I'm learning how to actually brace properly before I go into my pulling movements, because something that a lot of people don't realize is that breathing and bracing is such an important thing when it comes to training, that you really need to nail that down. And I find dead bugs are a really good exercise to kind of help with that, making sure that when you do each rep, you're making sure to brace into your belly and get a nice, strong, rigid core throughout each rep. And that really helps going from the next exercise, which we're going to be doing hanging leg raises. I've got a foam roller here to help support my back so that I'm not swinging about as much when I do the exercise. And it's just such a good exercise, again, to get that core warm, to get that, to really learn how to brace and practice that before you go into any heavy pulls. So with my ab exercises, I treat them like any other exercise that I would do in the gym. I'm looking at how many reps I did last week, and I'm making sure that I'm trying to progress on those reps. So last week on my app, it says I did 11 reps. So this first set, I'm going to make sure I get 12. The first pulling movement of the session, done my hanging leg raises. So the first one, I want to focus on a little bit more lat. So I'm going to be doing a frontal plane pull down. This is just going to help me target more of the mid-upper lat fibers, but doing it first in the session means that I can hit it when it's fresh, means that I'm going to get the most out of that exercise. So I've got 5 plates on the side here. Last week I got 4 reps. I use quite low rep ranges on all my exercises just because there's not really much of a point in doing, like, say 15-20 reps when it takes you like 10 reps to get to the reps that actually stimulate muscle growth, the effective reps, which are the last 5 reps in a set. So going to see how much I can do with this. Looking to get 1 more rep up. Starting my right side. For some reason my right side is weaker on this exercise, but let's see what we can do. And I want you to look at how I go into the set, how I prepare for the set just before I do it. I don't just go from yapping to somebody to straight into the set. I take a minute to compose myself to make sure that I'm prepared to go for it. Easy. Max reps from last week. So one mistake that I see all the time when people do unilateral work, i.e. one side at a time, is that they don't rest between sides. So I've just done my right side. I'm going to rest now about 2 to 3 minutes before I do my left side, because you've essentially just done a hard set to failure on your right side. Just because you're using one arm at a time doesn't mean that it's not fatiguing. So you want to wait for that fatigue to come down, your heart rate to come back down to baseline before you go into your opposite side. Should have probably started off my left side, but that's top set done. Gonna go into my back offs now. So on to the prime row. So this is going to be my main horizontal row movement of the session. So I do this straight after my pull downs. Actually not fatigue myself too much with the deadlifts. So this one, if you've never seen a prime machine before, they're so fucking good. This is probably my favourite machine in all the machines I've used. This is probably my favourite one because it just feels so smooth. You can load it in different pins or different resistance profiles. So essentially when you think about the back and where it's easiest and most challenging, the back's usually more challenging in that contracted position when you're really trying to squeeze your shoulder blades together. That's where you're going to have the most challenge in the movement, but it's going to be very easy when you're stretched out here. If you think about doing something like a bent over row or really any pull down machine or any rowing machine, you'll usually find that you struggle the most up here, and you might only be able to get halfway before you actually fail a rep. So what I do in this machine is I load it on the top peg, which allows me to put more load in that stretch position where it's going to be more challenging. Obviously, not every gym has prime machines. I'm very fortunate to have a prime machine in this gym. But you know, if you do have prime, use it because it's very, very good. And you know, depending on where you put the exercise in the session, like if I put this maybe first in the session, I could load maybe the bottom two pegs a little bit more, just to put more challenge at that top when my back is fresh and I'm able to contract it more. But I'm going to jump into my warm-ups. It's probably going to go up to about five plates, maybe 6, and we'll see where we're at with it. Absolutely beautiful. So something you'll see me do with these warm-up sets is I'll keep them the exact same as my working sets. So you can see whenever I do a warm-up set, doesn't matter if it's 1 plate, 2 plate, 3 plate, whatever warm-up set I'm doing, I make sure that it looks exactly the same as I would when I do my working set. Because essentially warm-up sets are practice for the big game when you hit your top set and you're using the most amount of weight. So if you're half-assing your warm-up sets and you're not getting the most out of them, and you're not practicing that technique, practicing your bracing, practicing the tempo, you know, the range of motion, all these different things, and keeping them the exact same as you would with that top set, then your top set's going to be bollocks. You know, you're not going to get as much out of your top set as you could. So always treat your working sets seriously and make sure that when you do your working sets, they're on point. I'll get the band out for this shit, but I don't know if it's going to hold. Fuck's sake, man. This is what they don't tell you about lifting big weights. You have to get the band out for certain exercises that don't have a long enough peg. But top set is loaded. I'm going to get a spot just so I can get this lifted properly. You good? Yep. So you see, because I loaded that on the top peg on the last step, I was able to really grind through it. No cheap reps around here, bro. So deadlifts time. I do my deadlifts a little bit later on in my session. Most people would probably do it first exercise into a session, but I do it fourth exercise in. So I've done my leg raises, pull downs, rows, and now I'm doing my deadlift. And the reason for this is because I can send my deadlifts quite hard, and if I did them first, I wouldn't be able to, or the rest of my pulling movements wouldn't be as high quality. So by doing them fourth, I'm making sure that my actual back work is going to be high quality, and then obviously deadlifts, you know, is just a little bit more overall back, hamstring, posterior chain, and just a little bit of fun. So on 3 plates so far, I've already warmed up with one with just the bar, 1, 2. Going to hit 3 plates now, so nice and easy. GOAT of all PR songs, by the way. If you need something to hype you up, Commander Erwin's speech is the one. Come on. Oh, come on! Yes! So 200 for 5 on my dead. That should have meant a lot to me because I've been dealing with this massive hip injury for, I want to say, the past 6 months. I've been dealing with a hip issue where I've barely been able to deadlift, barely been able to squat without pain. But sometimes that just goes to show, like, if you just adjust your training, I talk about this all the time on my Instagram, if you just adjust your training a little bit, just to make sure that you can do the exercise relatively pain-free, you know, I would say no more than a 2 out of 10, 3 out of 10 with the pain, then you can still push things, you can still achieve big milestone goals, like as long as you're sensible with it, and as long as you're not doing stupid things like going for 1 rep maxes and whatnot. But that actually meant a lot to me as somebody, again, been dealing with this injury for so long. It's just so much frustration, so much, you know, yeah, I want to push so bad with my exercises, but I can't. So yeah, just goes to show sometimes you just need to have that dog in you, man. You just need to go for it and send it sometimes. But got 150 loaded for a back off set. Sometimes I don't even take my back off set because of the pain. Sometimes I'll maybe go for 1 rep, just feel it out. If it feels too bad, then I won't go for it. But 150 is loaded. We'll see how many we can get with this. Last time I believe I got about 7. Hopefully we'll get 8. Come on. Fucking Deadlifts are done. Just on my top set of preacher curls, dumbbell preacher curls. These have to be one of the best exercises if you want to grow your biceps. Reason being is because all the tension is in the stretch position here. So even though your biceps are a little bit shorter, being in front of the body, it's loaded in that stretch position. So essentially, you're getting all the benefit of, you know, the bicep having a bit of better leverage in that stretch position. And it's just super easy to keep standard and to progress over time because you can't move your arm about, it's locked in place. So absolutely go to the exercise, probably my favourite bicep exercise, and it's one that I've done for the last, you know, year and a bit. That's made my arms blow up. So now done with preacher curls, on to Bayesian curls or behind the back cable curls. This is going to put the bicep in a little bit more of a lengthened position with the elbow behind the body, and it's just another variation that we can use to make it more challenging in that more stretched position. Again, after we've done those preacher curls, even though the preacher curls are loaded in more stretched, you know, the biceps still very much benefit from that stretched position. So getting the elbow behind the body and making sure that we're getting most of the tension down here is going to be ideal at this point in the session. So let's get into it. Cybex Bravo, fantastic bit of kit, my favourite cable machine in the world. Got the chest support on it, or the back support in this case, which is going to really help us lock into position and keep those elbows behind the body. Overestimated myself a wee bit. 3 rep backs and cable curl, but it's no issue. It's my first time doing cable curls on this machine again in a while, and this machine's a little bit sticky. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to simply rest about 1 minute, drop the weight by about a pin, and then just try and get another couple reps, okay? Because again, when we're thinking about it, the most important thing is effective reps. I got about 3 effective reps there, so if I just go again with a little bit less weight, then I'm going to be able to get another, you know, 1, 2, 3 effective reps. There we go, 3 more effective reps. Perfect. So last move of the day, still on that Cybex Bravo. We're going to be doing rear delt flies. So obviously we're not trying to row it, we're not trying to retract the shoulder blades here. That would be more for our traps. All we're trying to do is we're trying to get that upper arm to midline of body, like that. Simple as that, right? We're not pulling back, we're not reaching, none of that. It's literally just all through the shoulder. Going to be going at a little bit of an angle too, just to target those rear delt fibers a wee bit better. And then obviously again, chest support for that stability. So let's get into it and let's get it done. Loaded up the machine too, to where most of the difficulty is in this stretch position, and then it drops off when you get shortened. So you can see when I failed that there, I failed it all the way down here, because at the end of the day, your rear delts hit on all of your pull-down exercises. So when I was doing those pull-downs and those rows, I'm still hitting my rear delts there, so loaded in the lengthen makes sense. Still quite a heavy set, but got 2 more to do, and then that is us done in session. Right people, do your best Sam Sulek impression. It's time for the pump check. Get a bit closer into the action a wee bit, so you can actually see what's going on. Oh yeah. Let's get a bit men's physique in here. I've not been mad with the condition. Approaching about 80 kilogram now, so I'm getting to the point where I am getting a bit softer with my physique. I usually get a bit leaner around, low 70s. That's when I'm properly lean. I'm about high 80s now, about 78 kilograms, so definitely getting up there, but still respectable. It's probably the best I've looked at, about 78, 79 kilogram. So can't grumble at that. What a session, man. Gonna wrap it up there though. If you stayed this long into the video, massive legend. Appreciate you a lot, because obviously, first video, it's going to be growing pains here before it's actually maybe good content. I don't know how it'll turn out in the editing. Don't know how the editing is going to be either. Don't know how long that's going to take. But if you did stay this long, absolute legend. Appreciate you tons. If you've got any comments on what content you want to see more of, day of the eating, full day of eating, any other training sessions, exercise tutorials, more sit down talking videos, just let me know. And don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, all that good shit. Peace out.